Chased by Matt Kudlowski, and just over the outset hands of Doc Trumbull. Kutulski was all over Krenzel, and Krenzel had to rush the throw, and it's going to bring up 4th down for Ford.
Oh, yeah, good pursuit here by Ed Kutulski as he stayed with it and forced Krenzel to go out of bounds and throw that one on the run, off balance, and that went incomplete. So Ed Kutulski with a big defensive play.
Well, Matt Nowicki and Brian Prentice will be deep for Utica. And number 40, Mike Hall, does the punting. Ford.
Utica needs a good run back here. Let's see.
And nice punt.
Boy.
And they're going to let it go, and it's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. And they're lucky because it bounced about a yard deep into the end zone and bounced backwards. If that would have hit the 1-yard line, Utica would really be penned in, but instead they're going to have the ball at their own 20.
Yeah, he kicked it in the air into the end zone, so that had to be at least a 40-yard punt from the line of scrimmage.
And it hit that nice lush grass down there in the end zone that just really gave it a nice soft, cushiony landing.
Well, even had some hang time on that one. That was one of the better punts we've seen in a while.
Okay, Engelhardt brings the Chieftains up to the line and trying to make something happen here. 4:14 left in the third quarter. And he's back to throw, and it's a little delayed reverse to Rushke. He's got some room, but Ford's recovering quickly, and he's going to be brought down after about 4 yards by number 17, number 77, Jeff Volker, and also number 17, Brian Bruton. And it's going to bring up 2nd down and 6 for Utica.
Well, again, now Utica, with that reverse, they're just trying to do anything they can here to give them a spark.
Well, Ford's a well-coached team, and all their players stayed home, and they were right there.
And a couple of real hard hits at the end of that play.
And that's going to be delay of game. And that's going to cost Utica 5, and that's going to bring it back 2nd down and about 11 instead of 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, that'll change the problem. Maybe throw a pass.
And number 19, Ryan Mikulich, is kind of ushering in and out some of the plays. I think Coach Miguel is bringing in and out plays with the wide receivers. Engelhardt, this is going to be Rushke. He's got some room, and he picks up good tackle there by number 25, Ryan Van Bazlor. And Rushke picked up about 14 yards, and he's close to a 1st down.
Looks like he's
Matter of fact, he does have the 1st down, so he picked up about 14, 15 yards on that.
Well, they opened a nice hole for him that time, something they haven't been able to do all afternoon, and Rushke turned on the speed as he was able to get the 1st down.
So Engelhardt from his own 30, and that's going to be illegal procedure. And this ball is going to be out of bounds. But what happened was number 19, Ryan Mikulich, just moved a little bit early, and he was the one who was getting the pitch, and so he was a little anxious to make that throw.
Yeah, they've called that an illegal motion now, as Mikulich, with a little bit of movement there before the ball was snapped, and they may have had one other man in motion already.
Now Ford's going to be able to take 2nd and 10 or 1st and 15. And we're going to see if they're going
to take the yardage.
And that's going to bring up 1st down and 15 for Utica. which actually gives Utica an extra down because the play was an incomplete pass.
Well, again, they were trying to do something to surprise him here, and it just didn't work.
And Engelhardt back to pass, deep drop, and he overthrows. That's intercepted by Resmer, and he's brought down there. But Resmer comes up with the big interception, and they're going to have the ball at the Utica 43-yard line.
Well, the player of the game, it's been tough for Ford, but Resmer with another big play now to come up with that interception, and Ford takes over in good field position again. And this, we don't like to say it, but this could be the nail in the coffin here for Utica if they can't stop them now.
Well, you can't keep putting your defense, the offense can't keep putting the defense in a situation where they're always having to defend on a short field. And
we've got number 61 for Ford, D'Angelo, in the game now on the left side of the line.
And Krenzel, this is Hughes, and he's going to be tackled for about a 1-yard gain.
Well, they tried to go that way with D'Angelo because he is so formidable out there on that side of the line, but they were sweeping around the end, and Utica was able to make a nice defensive play. So now with about 1:45 left in the third quarter, Utica trying to get the ball back.
Well, second down and 9. Krenzel under center. That's John Pickman in motion. And this is a little quick hitter to Hall. And Mike Hall rambles for about 7, and he's going to be close to a first down, but still a little bit shy.
Yeah, Hall had a nice hole that time as well, as he had both arms wrapped around the ball, and in traditional fullback style, he just barreled forward for about a 7-yard gain.
Well, with a 24-6 lead, Ford is certainly going to keep it on the ground. If they can grind out 3-4 yards every carry, they'd like to take all the time they can off the clock. And here is Hall again, exact same play, and he picks up the first down. And it's going to be first down and 10 for the Ford Falcons.
It's like they've been successful. It looks like a trap play to the right that's worked for them twice in a row now, and they may have picked up the first down here. So before the season started, Terry Capacia indicated that if Ford was able to really build a ground game here, that they knew they had the size to dominate in a game, and so far they've showed it here today.
Well, I gave them the first down, but they're going to measure anyway, so we'll see whether they got it. And they did.
Room to spare for Ford here.
They should have just listened to me.
Well, you don't have a striped shirt on today, Mike.
I tried to throw a yellow flag last night, but it didn't make it all the way down to the field. It hit somebody in the stands.
That was you?
Yeah, that was me. Sorry, Bob. Well, it's going to bring up a first down and 10 for Ford. Ball on the Utica 32-yard line. Ford in command and just marching down the field with their running game. They don't even have any wide receivers. Well, they do. They have 2 split outs, but they're in close. And this is Hughes again, and he's going to be pulled down from behind by Doc Trumbull.
And that was a nice play by Doc Trumbull. Hughes is not an easy back to corral, and Trumbull with a nice tackle.
And Hughes actually lost a couple of yards on that play. It can bring up a second down at about 12. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter with the Ford Falcons in control, 24-6.
Well, Utica now is going to have to come out with a big fourth quarter, the biggest one that they're capable of, as Ford now has surmounted a 24-6 lead, and so far they've been able to dominate Utica with their size and the passing game. But now, with the big lead, we don't need any more passes as far as Ford says. They're content to just grind it out here. And with Utica being in Region 4, Region 3 of Class AA, they find themselves in a real tough division, as Chippewa Valley, who defeated Port Huron Northern last night, is in the division with the Detroit schools, Cass Tech, Denby, Finney, Kettering, Martin Luther King, Osborne, Pershing, and then East Detroit, Fraser, Grosse Pointe South, as we said, Port Huron Northern. And we'll pick up the rest of those teams later as now Ford comes to the line.
Boy, that is a tough, tough division, Bob.
You can tell.
Okay, Krenzel, 2nd down and 12. He's got Resmer and oh, he had John Bickman cutting across on a little slant, and Bickman got his bell rung a little bit there. And incomplete pass, 3rd down and 12.
Well, you mentioned it was a tough division, and we hadn't even gotten to Eisenhower and Stevenson yet in that same division. We also have Rochester Adams, Rochester, Roseville, Troy Athens, Utica, and Warren De La Salle. So Utica in the red division of the MAC finds himself in also a tough division in AA.
Well, of course, and that's the division that they use for the state playoffs, and the top 4 teams in that division.
Exactly.
Krenzel back to pass, and it's incomplete. Intended receiver over there was number 20, Jeremy Resmer.
Boy, he was in position to almost pick off another one there. Resmer just seems to be where that ball is.
And that's going to bring up 4th down for the Falcons.
And the Chieftains are glad to hear that.
Looks like they're going to punt, try to pin the Chieftains down into their own end of the field. They're a little outside of field goal range.
Well, you know he's going to be going for that proverbial coffin corner here.
Mike Hall, Prentice, and Matt Nowicki are the 2 deep backs.
He'll be punting right about from midfield.
And he's going, it's kind of a short kick.
A knuckler.
It's going to bounce, and it's going to be down at about the 12-yard line for Utica.
Boy, that ball didn't have any spin on it. Looked like it just floated there for a minute.
That'd be hard to do.
It is.
And so Utica is going to take over at their own 12-yard line.
Well, this is a big series for them now. If they're able to put together a drive and at least get a score and maybe go for 2 with an onside kick, they'll be right back in it. So the Chieftains now come to the line trailing by 18 points.
Well, Engelhardt under center, and he's back, and it's tipped at the line. Incomplete pass.
And again, number 77 for the Falcons got a hand on it that time. Jeff Wolker, the senior, 6'3", 215.
I think the intended receiver was Sheridan on a little slant there, but didn't make it past the line.
Yeah, you could see him waving for the ball. He wanted it. It looked like he was open right away, but Wolker got his hand up in there. Was able to knock it down.
11:38 left in the 4th quarter. 4:24, Utica 6. Engelhardt, Rushke, single setback. Prentice, Condon, wide out. There's a blitz, and number 59, Jared Wysocki, just came from his linebacker spot and just decked Engelhardt. And Engelhardt did a good job just getting the ball away, but that aggressive Ford defense putting the pressure on this Utica offense.
Yeah, Engelhardt getting up a little slowly, and looks like he's walking gingerly now back to the huddle as he was leveled. You can tell he didn't really end up throwing that ball where he wanted to. He threw it a lot higher than he had intended.
Yeah, those are the kind that get picked off for touchdowns when you're down in your own end zone. Well, now we've got 3rd down and 10. Ball still on the Utica 12-yard line. Engelhardt back to pass again. Another blitz. This time, oh! Sheridan was right there, and a great defensive play by Brian Bruton.
Brian Bruton.
That was a great play by Brian Bruton. Number 17.
Brutan. We've been corrected 5 times now.
Well, it's good to know we were both wrong.
Yeah.
But that was a terrific defensive play because Sheridan was wide open, and Brutan just came in there and got a paw on it, and that's going to force a Utica punt. And Rushke gets the punt, but it's got a good roll, and it's going to go out of bounds. downs at about the 46-yard line of the Falcons.
Yeah, I think we both had the emphasis on the wrong syllable on his name. Now the Chieftain cheerleaders trying to make some noise to get them going here. We wish that's all it took, but Ford now with the ball back. And
well, I think we're going to see the Ford offense and go into the ball control and grind it out. We're going to let those. They're going to probably let those that big offensive line do its job, and we're going to see a lot of Mike Hughes and Mike Hall.
You bet. We already have today.
And this is Hughes, and he's got a big hole there in the center, and Hughes
He's
is still on his
going.
feet. What moves? Hughes is past the last Utica guy,
Oh.
and if number 87, Brian Prentice, didn't catch up with him, Hughes was gone again for a big gain. And Hughes, what a jitterbug running through the line there. He picks up, let's see, they're going to mark him out at about the 31-yard line. So he picks up about 20 yards on that carry.
Yeah, that's the kind of running we're used to seeing from Reschke here, and Hughes has really taken off today and proven that you give him the room, open up the holes, he can do it too.
And Krenzel splitting his backs. He's done a nice job today. Nothing flashy, but he's been very consistent. And this is Mike Hall, and Krenzel knew what he was doing because that play succeeds for about 5 yards.
Well, Krenzel, the junior, has really been instrumental in Ford's offense today, being able to move the ball and score. He's looked good passing. He's been crisp on his handoffs. Hasn't really made many mistakes, so Coach Capaccia could be very proud of his junior quarterback.
Well, and I think that's the key, Bob. He hasn't really made any spectacular plays other than the long throw before halftime, but he's just been consistent. He's executed. He's in command of the offense. You could see he just moved his running back so that Hall was in the right position to take that handoff.
And we saw an audible earlier, and
there's Hughes again, and Hughes is just will not be tackled. He's almost to the first down.
Krenzel gaining more confidence with each play as Ford continues to move the ball.
And that's going to be a first down for Ford. And the ball's going to be on the Utica 22-yard line.
Well, as you can see, both teams came out tight, 0-0, and it was Ford that was able to loosen it up and keep the momentum.
Well, it was those daggers before halftime. Here's a quick hitter again to Hall, and he's going nowhere.
And again, Doc Trumbull and Darryl Zube in on that stop. As Ford hasn't found it really that easy to run on Utica up the middle, but Hughes with some good speed and some nice moves has had a big afternoon.
I think it's been the big plays for Ford. They've made the big plays with 2 interceptions by Mark Youngkai.
And they've had the fewest mistakes.
And they have. That's true, Bob. This is Bickman in motion. And this is Hughes again, and he is brought down by Doc Trumbull with a good open field tackle on a really slippery Hughes.
And he's getting up slow. This time he took a couple of late hits. He's holding his collarbone there.
Oh, boy. Oh, you hate to see that happen. I bet you Coach Capaccia will get him out of the game. If he's hurting, he's too valuable to this Ford team going forward. They've got the game well in hand.
He's already had a big afternoon, and they don't need much more out of him. But he says he's okay and heading back to the huddle. He's a tough kid.
And 3rd down and long now, 3rd and 15, ball on the 27 of Utica. 8:39 left in the game. Ford in control, 24-6. And Krenzel back to pass. And he's hit and intercepted by number 82, Scott Sheridan. And Sheridan brings it back to the 40-yard line before he's brought down by Hughes. And it was the defensive line that got to Krenzel and hit him just as he was throwing. And Sheridan heads up, made made the interception and brought it back for Utica. So,
well, Mike Karasienski for Ford was trying to chop that ball out of Sheridan's hand, and to no avail as Sheridan hung on. And Utica now with a big interception. They've got their work cut out for them here in the fourth quarter with only 8 minutes and 26 seconds left. Time's running out on them.
Well, and sophomore quarterback Chad Hoddle in for Englehart. I think Coach McGarrett wants to get him some playing game experience.
And he had a good game last week. Little keeper.
And that's kind of a weird-looking play.
Well, Hoddle's a tough kid. He says, let me do it. I'll take the ball and run it right up the gut here.
He's a sophomore. He doesn't know that those guys in the gut are pretty big.
Well, that's it. We saw him take a couple of big hits last week, and he's a tough kid. He can take it, and actually he can dish it out. He knows how to run. He hits the defender sometimes harder than they hit him. That was shades of Greg Landry right up the middle here on the quarterback keeper.
Now you're dating yourself, Bob.
We're the high taps. We're the high tops here. Landry was able to do it for 70 yards, though.
Well, Hoddle with the pitch back to Rushke. And Rushke's around the left side. He's got a little bit of room. And Rushke's still on his feet. And he's taken out of bounds at about the 31-yard line.
Well,
After a pickup of about 27 yards.
Kind of what we've been looking for all afternoon here from Reschke is Ford had his number most of the game, but he was able to turn that corner, and he had a nice gain down there for a first down for the Chieftains now as Hoddle at the helm has the Chieftains moving.
Actually, it looks like they're going to mark him that he stepped out of bounds at about the 43-yard line.
Looked like he had gotten almost to the 30.
So Hoddle under center, Kuzmano and Rushke in the backfield, and pitch to Rushke. And he really, I thought he had nowhere to run, and he was able to pick up of about 7 yards
I don't know how he got through there. Well, that's to his credit again. He's that kind of a runner. As you can tell, he's smart and he's cagey. He's got good eyesight. Great peripheral vision. He was able to pick a hole and get through there.
Well, the line was doing some nice blocking for him there, and didn't look like there was anything, but there had to be a little bit of a hole there.
That was a stampede coming this way, and he found his way through it.
Okay, number 19, Ryan Mikulich, wide left. Prentice, wide right. Pro set. And Hoddle's going to keep it. He's being chased, and he is tackled from behind by number 67, Jason Davenport.
He made a nice play to chase Hoddle down there, all the way from the other side.
I'm not sure Hoddle knew that he was back there, and Hoddle's lucky he didn't fumble that ball.
No, that's when he could have used the helmet cam, looking out the back.
They have those?
He could have used our Shelby Township cable TV helmet cam.
That's going to bring up third down and short. 6:10 left in the ball game. And Hoddle's on a keeper. He's got the first down, about 3 yards, down to about the 30.
Well, he's not afraid to tuck that ball under and just go for it, as that one works again for him.
Well, Hoddle's about 5'11", 170, so he's not too big, but makes it up with toughness.
And now, after Hoddle has moved the ball downfield, we get Englehart back in there now with the ball on the 30-yard line and first down for the Chieftains. 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think Hoddle did a nice job while he was in there.
He really did.
And Englehart back to pass. And he's got a man, Rushke, wide open, and he is down to about the 5-yard line.
Good play.
And Englehart comes in and throws a dart to Rushke, and that's a big pickup. Going to be a first down and goal at about the 6-yard line of the Falcons.
Well, desperation now for the Chieftains as they've got to pull out all the stops here to cut this gap. And Englehart with a nice pass to Rushke across the middle.
And pitch to Rushke, and he's down to about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, they've got a couple more downs where they can run the same type of play and just follow those big linemen.
Here comes the jumbo defense for Ford. Big number 61, Andre D'Angelo, 6'6", 355, leads them out.
Yeah, that's got to be their goal line defense now in there, and Ford has really done a nice job all day.
Well, they got some big kids in there on that line right now. And here's Rushke again. He runs right into D'Angelo, right into the center of that line, and he's going to be short of the touchdown by about a yard, I think.
Yeah, it's tough going up the middle now with that big Ford defense in there. As we were reading off the heights and weights for you earlier. But Utica, with a couple of big kids of their own, was able to match up fairly well. And
Nick Kelly, 6'5", 330-pound senior, comes in and going to line up across from Andre D'Angelo.
Let's watch the Sparks.
Wow.
They're going to fly on this one.
And here comes Rushke, and he is short again. He's going to be at about the 1-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th and goal.
Well, I almost wish they'd try to go around the end here. They're going up the middle, and there's nothing doing.
Well, I think if they fake that up the middle and let Rushke run around the outside, I think his speed would get him in.
Well, if he can get the angle on him and go toward that corner, maybe the other way to the... They're going the short side here. Maybe they go the other side.
Okay, 4th down and goal. 3:30 left in the game, so this is not the game's on the line, but there's certainly a lot of moral victory that this touchdown would help with. Lambert in the backfield. And there's Rushke, and he is going to be short, and we've got a penalty flag down. Let's see what that's all about. If it's against Utica, it's going to be declined. It is.
Oh, hang on now.
And it's going to be against Utica. Ford's going to decline it and take over.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, it is.
And that was a great goal line stance by that Ford defense. Got to give them credit.
Yeah, that speaks a lot for them today. They've really performed well.
Utica had the ball down there, 1st and goal, and Ford held.
Yeah, that's why we watched Hoddle run that quarterback sneak. That they might have been able to use it on one of those plays there, but no, the Chieftains come up short, and
Ford put in the beef.
Oh, they did.
And there was just no room to run.
Yeah, the answer to the question, where's the beef, is right down there in the goal line today, folks.
There's a lot of it right down there right now because D'Angelo and Nick Kelly and some of the big guys on both teams.
And they're just protecting the ball right now. They don't want to get to safety, and
Krenzel just quarterback sneaks to try to give himself a little bit of room out to about the 2-yard line.
Yeah, they're just going to try to run that clock out.
And we've got 3 minutes left in the game.
Well, before the game, both coaches indicated that this was going to be a war, and it sure looks like Ford came out on top in this battle, as they still have been able to maintain this 24-6 lead here now with 2:45 left in the 4th quarter. And that's number 40, Michael Hall, for the Falcons, right into the line again.
Well, that brings up 3rd down. They would like to get themselves a little bit of room if they can't pick up a 1st down. They'd like to get a little bit of room to give their punter so that they could at least punt it out of there.
Well, they'd almost give them 2 points right now. It doesn't mean anything.
That's true.
I think they're just going through the motions here, trying to run a couple plays, but a safety really doesn't hurt them.
Well, Bob, what does this do as Utica looks forward then next week? They're, I'm sure, disappointed. They thought that they could come in here and really give this Ford team a game, and they really haven't. The Ford team has really done a nice job. And there's Krenzel with a little bit of athleticism. He throws that ball out there past the 1st down yard marker, and I think he picked up the 1st down for Ford.
Well, it's a good thing they taught the chain gang how to get out of the way, because the guy that was holding the marker over there for the 1st down just about lost his hat. And to answer the question, Mike, Utica now, they're going to find themselves with their confidence down a little bit going into next week's game, but sometimes that can work in their favor as they know they've got to do all they can to get back in the win column.
And there's Hall, I think, with a really no gain. It's going to bring up second down with 1:42 left in the game.
Yeah, the problem for Utica is it just doesn't get any easier each game now. Their opponents are some of the top teams in the state. Eisenhower and Stevenson are still out there waiting for the Chieftains, and that's why this is going to be a tough week in practice for Coach McElvra.
Well, and in 2 weeks, we've got right here on Shelby Cable the Utica-Eisenhower game, and that ought to be a good one.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing. Any of these inter-school rivalries with the 4 Class A high schools here in the Utica schools are always real good games. As we came into this game thinking that this could go right down to the wire, a couple of evenly matched teams, but Ford has really shown that they've been able to put it all together here after an opening week loss to Brighton last week.
Well, the interesting thing, I said hello to Terry Capaccia before the game, and he was busy getting his team ready, and I said, boy, I'm really looking forward to this game. It should be a good one, Terry. And he said, boy, I hope not. He said, I hope it's not good for you guys, because if it's good for you guys, that means it's close and it's going down to the wire. And he said, I hope that we get into the fourth quarter, that playing on Utica's field, that we're not going down to the wire with these guys. And that into that first half really turned the tide. And since that time, Utica's just never been able to get back in sync.
Yeah, that's usually our definition of a good game, is a close game. And this hasn't been close. It was close through the first quarter, close up through almost the first half until Ford was able, as you said, to shoot some daggers through the heart of Utica right before the end of the half and take the lead into the dressing room. They came out in the second half, and they didn't quit. Same thing.
Well, and here's Hall again, and he's going to pick up about 3 yards, make it third down.
Utica now trying to call timeout. They'd like to get their hands on the ball again.
Why do they do that?
Well, they've got some guys that, they'd like to get in the lineup, run a few plays, and people that they can see under these circumstances that maybe they couldn't put in there otherwise.
That's true. That's a good point.
And everybody that suits up wants to get in the game at one point or another, and some of these guys don't make it in until the last series or so. Plus, some underclassmen gives them some good experience for next year and the years to come, as they're always looking to build their programs.
Well, it's going to be third down and 2 after the timeout, and Ford came in here and did exactly what they needed to do and what they wanted to do, which was control the offensive and defensive line, make big plays. Early on, Coach Capaccia is still going to have a few things to talk about, because early on they had a couple of turnovers, and Utica was only able to convert them into field goals, but they may be able, another team or Utica on a different day might be able to convert those into touchdowns, and we've got a completely different outlook of this game.
Well, it's the first quarter blues again for both of these teams, as Utica went scoreless again in their first quarter 2 weeks in a row.
Well, and here's the fullback Hall again, and he may have enough for the first down. And if he does, it'll be time to just take a knee for the Ford Falcons. And he does. It's going to be first down and 10. And with 1:15 clock running, ball is on the 24-yard line of Ford.
And before the game's over, we'd like to take a few seconds to recognize our Shelby Cable crew here this afternoon with another fine job and good coverage. The guys in the truck, John Martin, Ed Horn, Art Schenk. We know up on the roof above us is Phil Wadsworth. We've got Kevin Cole wandering around down on the field with the camera.
That's just another running play by Hall as he picks up about 8 or 9 yards. And the Shelby Cable crew again has done just a beautiful job. We see great pictures. It's a great day for football, and even though the Utica cheerleaders are going to come out on the losing end of this one, they've had fun, and we have too.
We sure have. It's been a fun game. A lot of action. The Chieftains wish it had gone their way, but hopefully they've learned something from this one that they can take into the next few contests and turn it around.
And Krenzel is going to wait and get under center and take as much time off that clock as he can. This will be the last play.
And really our hats off to Terry Capation and Krenzel and the entire Forward Falcon team have come away with a big victory here over the Utica Chieftains this afternoon.
I think they've come in and they've beat a good Utica squad. We're going to see Utica a few more times this year, and looking forward to it. And the Forward Falcons have done an excellent job, and that's the ball game with the Utica Henry Ford Falcons 24 and the Utica Chieftains 6. For Bob Boucher, this is Mike Robinson signing off and say we'll see you next week here at Barney Swinehart Field. Goodbye, everybody.
Shelby Cable TV with